Today we're going to be talking about functions and slope, and today's cheat sheet will have functions, is it a function, slope, and finding slope. Okay. So first let's talk about what a function is. Here it says a function is a relationship in which every blank hat x has exactly one blank y. Okay. So we want to put that every x is going to be an input. Let me put that in red. Has exactly one, obviously it would be output. Okay, whatever you put in, you're going to get exactly one thing out. Okay, to check if it's a function, we have three ways we can check. In ordered pairs and tables, each x value must correspond exactly with one y value. Okay, you're gonna see if there's gonna be any repeating x values. If you have repeating x values, that means that it is not a function. So repeating x values equals not a function. Okay. Mapping. So mapping is when we have two circles and we have like numbers connected to the other numbers on the other circles, and we'll see a example here in a minute. So just like similar to ordered pairs and tables, each x value must connect to only one y value, okay, and check for multiple arrows leaving the same x value to see if it's a function or not. Okay, and then for graphs, it must pass the vertical line test, where any vertical line touches the graph at only one point, and we'll look at some of these right here. Okay, so in the very first box we have three representations. We have ordered pairs, we have a graph, and we have a mapping. Okay, so in the ordered pairs, we're checking to see if it's a function. It's a function if none of the x's repeat, right? Because if they do repeat, we said it's not a function. Okay, here all the x's, they're individual, like there's not repeating. There's repeating y values, but that doesn't matter. We're looking at the x values. So this one is a yes. Yes, it is a function. Okay. For the mapping, each x value must connect to only one y value, and we see right here each x value connects to one y value, right? And so here, this one is also a function, and the graph is also a function because if we draw a vertical line, it only touches the line once anywhere on the line. So here we're going to put yes, that this is a function. Okay. The bottom, it's going to be a no, and this is why it's a no. Okay. For the ordered pairs, we have three repeating x values, and we cannot have repeating x values. So this is not a function. Okay. For the mapping says each x value must connect to only one y value. Well, here we have 6, and it's connecting to two y values. So here, this is not a function. And then on the graph, if we do our vertical line, we're touching the line 2 times, and we can only touch it 1 time. Okay. Let's look at slope. So slope is going to be another word for rate of change, right? If it's positive, it increases or it goes up. Increases left to right. If it's a negative slope, it goes down or it decreases left to right. Right. If we have a 0 slope, we have a horizontal line. And then undefined is going to be a vertical line. Okay, so if it's positive, it goes like this. If it's negative, it goes like that. If it's horizontal, if it's 0, it'll be straight, and then if it's undefined, it'll be straight up and down. Okay, here we have two formulas. We have the slope formula, which is on our formula sheet, and then we know the rise over run. Okay, so if we have this graph, here's our y-axis and our x-axis, right? If we have this line right here that goes positive left to right, and we have our slope that goes like this, we can use these this would be our run, and then this would be our rise, right? Again, our run is the bottom part of the fraction, so we know whenever we go from left to right, we are doing x2 minus x1 in the formula for slope when we do the run. When we do the rise, we're doing the formula y2 minus y1, right? Okay. Triangles, let's look at this at the bottom. Triangles on the same line have the same slope. So because these two triangles are on the same line right here, that means they have the same slope. Their hypotenuse is lying on the same slope, okay? And they are similar triangles. Remember, similar means that they are the same shape, but not the same size, okay? The ratios of their corresponding sides are equal. Okay, so let's look at finding slope. So if we have this right here, let's find the slope of this graph. We have a point here and here. Okay, so I want to go rise over run with this one. Okay, so in this case, we can either go down and to the right, or we can go up and to the left. In this case, I always like to go from left to right, so I'm going to go down and to the left. So for my rise, I'm actually going down 3, so I'm going to put a -3 because we're going down, and then to the right 2, and that's a +2 because we're going to the right. So my slope here is going to be a -3 over 2. Okay, you can write it like that, or you can write it as like -3 over 2. Right? Let's look at the the table, and find the slope of that. So here, I want to do the change of x over the change of y. Okay, one that we didn't talk about on this section is like the change of y over the change of x, right? That's what we're going to do here. So what's the change between -2 and 1.4? Let's go ahead and find that in our calculator. Let's see. It is 3.4. So we're adding 3.4 each time. Okay, so here our change is from 0 to 2 is just 2. So our change in y is 3.4 over our change of x, which is 2. Okay, we can simplify that. 3.4 divided by 2, because that's the same as a fraction, and we get 1.7. You can write it as 1.7, or let's see, you can write it as 17 over 10. It doesn't matter as long as whatever the multiple choice answer gives you, you want to make it into that point. Okay. Let's look at the last one. We have 2 points, and we're going to find the slope between the two ordered pairs. Okay, so this one we're going to use our slope formula right here. Okay, so I want to label x1, y1, and x2, y2. Okay, and so for our formula it says y2 minus y1, so y2 is 7 minus y1 is 6 over my x2 is -2 minus my x is +2. So we get 7 minus 6 is 1. And my -2 minus 2 is a -4. We can write that it is 1 over -4 or -1 over 4. Same number, right? Or we can write it as a decimal and put it as -0.25.